Recording in progress.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are we all doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Let's see. Okay. Just the three of us right now.
Oh,
So anything going on in life? Fun and interesting?
just same old, same old.
Life, enjoying nature, enjoying being out of doors a little.
Yeah, I haven't done that today. I've been in the studio and I've been playing with a couple of things. I've been playing with setting up the new schedule for the classes. I've also been in the middle of doing some little color studies for some of those thumbnail pieces, the figurative pieces. So I'm working on a couple of those right now, and just little 5x7-inch sketches, and I'll share them with you probably on Wednesday. When we.
I'm still drawing hands.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
I need to practice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hands are, it just takes a while to kind of figure them out. But, you've got to think about them more or less as three separate parts, right?
Okay.
One is the base of the hand, right?
Right. Yeah, this part.
To really the wrist, which is down here.
Right.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
And then you have the thumb, which is kind of like this triangular shape
Right.
that you,
Right.
depending on the position and whether it's coming forward or you may see it in a slightly different shape.
This or
And then the fingers,
yeah.
okay, kind of as a unit, and depending again on what they're doing. Now the thing is, the fingers always move in unison with each other. Okay. So even if you twist your hand, things.
Right.
Those planes always line up with each other. Okay. So, and the most complicated part of it is really the fingers, but you find what the big plane is doing, and then you can carve the spaces out in between. Because, in some cases you may have like three fingers together and one separate.
Right.
Yeah. So you just cut away that triangle.
Right.
From that big plane once you figure out what the plane's doing.
It's getting easier. My husband has a joke. He says, "Look at me. I can draw my hand." And then he does this.
Yeah.
And he can. Good for him.
Yes, he can kind of outline and trace the rough shape of his hand.
Yes.
And you can relate to him that if he were a Neanderthal, that he would be doing pop art.
Okay. I will.
From that period. But yeah, we've kind of gotten a little past that. We've had the Renaissance and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, we probably have a better understanding of what hands are and how they function now. So, hey, John, how are you?
Oh, doing okay. Not great. Been dealing with plumbing issues for 3 days, so
Oh,
no fun. But there is a light coming at the end of the tunnel.
yeah,
That's always good.
yeah, yeah. Plumbing is one of those things that you got to have it.
Yep.
If you're going to live in a house, you got to have it, and it needs to work. And like in my case, I have a very old house, and the plumbing kind of works. And unfortunately, the real solution is you got to get under the house. You got to tear all of that out, and you got to basically put in PVC, because I literally have like galvanized metal pipes, that are probably fairly rusted and closed up.
Oh, no.
So the flow of
Well,
water,
yeah, that's it. I live in a complex that was built in 1968, so the piping and that is terrible. So they've been working for 3 days on trying to correct some issues that pipes don't burst and don't leak and don't.
yeah. Well, I mean, somewhere back in probably the late 60s, early 70s, somebody went into that house and really kind of from the floor up, they redid the plumbing and took all the metal pipe, from the floor to the faucet. And so that's all PVC. Unfortunately, they didn't know what they were doing and they didn't know how to put in a trap. So, it's got to basically by somebody who knows what they're doing. So, but this is life. It's a house. You can always.
Yep.
That's the thing about a house. You can always do something to fix it. So,
Always.
always. Yes, it's an ongoing thing.
The joys of being a homeowner.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, in some ways, some people would say that it beats being homeless.
That's true too.
I sometimes wonder about that. But yeah, living out in the elements is not all that much fun. So I'll pass. Anyway, we're going to jump into looking at what everybody did today. I'm kind of waiting for a few people to show up here. We got there's 5 of you and me, a whole 6 of us at this point. So let's see, let's unmute everybody so we can all talk. Unmute all. There we go. Did it do that? Yay! Yay! Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Yes, now that I can hear all of you. Okay. So I've got some news to share with you. Okay. I did, in fact, get a reply back from Sabrina Hudson. And basically the way this is going to shake out is that they want me doing 1 class a day, to justify my existence, with Fulton County. For some reason, they think that just because, I'm not on Zoom on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, that, I would have nothing to do.
Or baby.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they don't really know what's going on here. So anyway, but okay, that's you got to play within the bounding box here. So if that's going to be the bounding box, then we're going to go with, what we basically discussed, which is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we'll have a class in the morning, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll have an afternoon class. Okay. And pretty much so the same classes. We're not going to really change the premise, but 2 days a week, you'll have an opportunity to send things in, share them, and get feedback.
When does that start?
That will start this week, actually, on Thursday.
Are you sending out new
Yes.
links?
Yes. Yeah, I'll be sending out new links probably tomorrow morning, because I have to have everything in one of my very things, which is an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, I hate Excel. With a
Being selfish, it suited me better in the afternoons. The mornings, I had a lot of trouble trying to get on it at 10 o'clock.
Did you? Okay.
I got to walk the dog. There's things I got to do in the morning that require done then, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
So we're going to be closed on Monday for the holiday?
Yes, we will. Yes, this coming Monday, there will not be any classes because it will be 4th of July weekend. And so they're giving me a day off to not be on it. Okay. And so yes, we are going to honor that. And probably most of this weekend I'll be in Alabama. I need to go over there and work on the house a little bit. So chip away at the laundry list.
Right.
To do. At any rate, so yeah, starting Thursday, we will have a 10 a.m. Thursday. I'm sorry. No, Thursday it will be an afternoon class, and then Friday it will be a 10 a.m. morning class, and we'll be drawing Friday morning. Okay. Sound like a plan?
Good.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Sounds like-
Can everybody?
Fine if I can share drawings on Tuesday. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Mhm. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to have it meet, the 2 days a week that will be nothing but looking at your work, I mean, all of you collectively, not you personally, but, looking at your work and discussing, what's going on with it and, the goods, the bads, the uglies, right? And maybe, things you could think about to make it different, or better. So that's Tuesday.
What 2 days are you gonna
Yeah.
look at everybody's work?
That's Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Those are the sharing days. Okay.
Okay.
And it's basically like we have now. It's just at the times Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are going to shift to the mornings. Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to stay in the afternoon. Okay. And that way you get a gap. So like if you're in class Monday morning, you get inspired. That gives you all the rest of Monday, and then most of Tuesday that you could actually do something, right? And send it in and talk about it.
Hopefully it's going to give us more time to paint.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of the whole idea, rather than, 24 hours later, this way you've got a little more than 24 hours. So not a lot, but you can always slide it over to Thursday too. There's, I'm not saying that Tuesdays can only be paintings and sculptures and things like that, and that Thursdays have to be drawings. Whatever you have, anytime that you want to ask questions or share it, send it in, okay? And it will end up on.
It doesn't seem like that much time difference, but it's perceived as being longer.
Yeah, in reality, it's not. It's really not that much.
No, it's not really, but
Yeah.
it's just having an afternoon and a morning. So I used to do that on a work schedule, and you perceive it as being more free time.
Right. Well, you've got about 26 or 27 hours.
Yeah.
I guess no, almost 30, about 30 hours, really. Well, from 10, right, to 10.
Well, for start time, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 12. So from 12 to 12 the next day, that's 24. And then, 26 hours. Yeah.
But it seems longer. It does. Like I said, I've done it at work, and it just seems like you got more time.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing how much you can get done, if you can just squeeze in, half an hour to 45 minutes.
Right. True. Very true.
Do something.
Yes.
So, yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. Anyhow, so that's the plan. And, be looking for an email directly from me with links, probably tomorrow morning. Okay. And then you should probably be receiving something from Fulton County no later than probably Friday is my guess, by the time that they they get the new class schedule out. So whichever one you use, you should be getting both of them by then, okay? So, all right, so enough of that. Okay, so let's look at some of the stuff that you guys sent in. And I'm gonna just kind of flow through this and kind of hit or miss, because rather than try to do it alphabetically, because alphabetically there are some people who are not here yet, but may show up later. So wait a minute. We don't want to share that. That's not what we're wanting to share. Let's click on the right thing here. Makes all the difference in the world. All right. You should see a little girl with a purple background, right?
Right.
Okay, good. All right, so everybody's got that. But we're going to skip Bernice because Bernice is not here yet. And Bernice has got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's go to Bob, okay? Because we know Bob is here, okay?
We know Bob's here. That's right.
Yes, we know Bob is here. We've talked to him today. And so, these are some sketches. Bob sent in some seals, sea lions, technically. And that's when we looked at the stuff around Monterey Bay, I guess. And those, those are pretty nice seals,
Yeah,
So what inspired
I did my 20-minute pieces on those seals. Took 20 minutes and timed it.
Okay, yeah, because I mean that's not one that we did, but that's fine, and I'm glad to see that you did them. So what inspired you to want to do that particular image? Yeah.
Well, I just thought there was some interesting designs, basically, if you will. There was a whole raft more seals that you could, but you look at it in 20 minutes, and 3 is about all you could really do to make them actually look like seals. So I just picked the 3 that were all kind of on top of the whole heap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all.
Yeah.
Just thought they were the most interesting flow.
Okay. Well, I like what you picked to include, in the image, and I remember the image, and yes, there were a lot more seals around there, but just isolating it down to those 2 or 3 and sort of the interaction between them, I think that got the idea across, and it made a nice little composition and study. And you did this in graphite?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And you've got a nice range of value, light to dark. So let's see. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice little study. And how big is this? This is probably not real big, right?
This is like an 8. No, it's a little bit bigger than like a 9 by 12. No, not even that big. It's in a pad. It's in a
Okay.
Sketchbook.
Okay. We have a question.
It says 9 by 12.
Okay. Is it graphite and watercolor combined in Bob's seals? And that's from Rebecca. And you said it's just graphite, right? Bob?
This is only graphite. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you got that, Rebecca? Just
I
pencil.
got it. Thank you. Yes.
Then-
Because of the shading looked like it was painted on, but that's really good.
Well, he probably at one point, sketched it in, put in some tones and values, and then rubbed it back either with a paper towel or his finger, and then went back over and put more line work over it. So it's got that harder and softer, contrast in there.
I did use a stump with this on this.
That's nice work.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we got these kind of softer tonal areas. By just blending those marks back, and then you can always go back in and add, more penciling over it if you want, sharper edges or things like that.
But the other thing about those 3 seals, they were all 3 different colors as well.
Were they?
The one on the left-hand upper side, he was the darkest. And then the one with his head sticking straight up in the air, he was kind of a mid-tone. And then the one in front was very light in color. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well.
Okay. Yeah. Though you didn't stay with that value structure.
Not exactly, no.
Yeah. Yeah, because you put a lot more light on the guy back here.
Right.
If he was overall the darkest. Because right now, the one that seems to be darkest is it. Yeah. But it works. I mean, it works just fine. Very good. Okay. So then he did a great white shark. Okay. And so what did you enjoy drawing this or not? And if you enjoyed it, what did you enjoy about it?
Well, one thing was the simpleness of the shape. I mean, it was, just like an obelisk almost. The shape was, and what I did not like was the water spray that he threw up behind me, because I don't think I captured it very well at all in there. So I had some likes and dislikes, but the shape was very simple and you could do it quickly. And but the water spray was a lot more difficult in the background.
So let me ask you this, okay? If you had to draw that again, what might you change about it? Particularly with the water.
I would probably work with the background of the sky behind the water more, so that the water itself would differentiate itself from the rest of the image. Yeah, I would agree with that, and that's probably the direction I would encourage you to go in, which is laying a tone in the background, making the water. Well, it gives the water something to look light against. Right now, you've got an outline, but there's no change in value between what's water and what's sky. And yeah, and this is a piece of artwork, so you can always make choices about how you want to arrange those values to your advantage. To say what you want to say. And so, regardless of what the value of the sky was behind him, you could choose to make it, a darker value, to get the effect that you want. So, right. Let's see.
You skipped one of Bob's, I think.
No.
That was one of
No.
the
Those are
first one.
And then. Huh?
Yeah, the one above the shark.
Here. Okay. Yes. All right. Yeah, that's the one that you sent. Yeah, and it was just for fun. Okay. Yes. So you're trying to do a something that's not really very easy. She's pulling this shirt or blouse, up over her head, and you've got the bottom part of the blouse, and you have kind of an indication of the outline of the outside of the arm. And I guess my question is, why did you stop here? Why did you bring the fabric out around?
Well, my reference drawing stops there.
Your reference drawing stops there. Well, that's a good reason why. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you almost get the sense of the arm coming, down the inside of the fabric, but not quite. You haven't quite pushed it far enough. And the thing is, if this were the top of the arm, you would kind of think her head's got to be in there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't.
Well, the reference drawing, that her arm is total. It's all surrounded by some kind of material.
Right.
There's really no indication of her arm, except a little bit on the left hand side, upper side there, and it's just non-existent pretty much. But what I wanted to do though was work on the folds of the fabric. That was my intent here, is to practice folds.
Right. So, you know, we've talked about fabric and folds before. And the thing about, you know, fabric and trying to draw folds is you've got to edit. You've got to simplify. And you basically take all of the folds out that don't help you describe the fold. You know, all those little kind of extraneous folds and things like that. You know, they make it look busy, but they don't really help you describe what's going on underneath that fabric. And so they end up making it kind of confusing. The other thing is that you tend to, you know, in this drawing, you've kind of made it almost like a pattern because they seem to be kind of the same size and evenly spaced out. And, you know, that may happen, it may not, but it's not a good idea to do that, right?
Can I say one thing? I see 2 dogs there.
You see 2 dogs?
Yeah.
Dog.
Dog.
I'm looking for dogs. I'm not
Me too.
I'm not seeing the dogs. Okay.
I see
I
one.
see 2 dogs. I don't.
Okay. I don't know.
What the noses?
Hey, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder, you know?
I guess.
Yeah. And if you
Okay, I see one dog.
yeah.
I'm not going to comment.
I don't see any dogs there. Anyway. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah.
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 As far as the uniformity of the pleats are concerned, the tucks in there, it reminds me of a fabric that's pre-pleated like that, and all of the pleats are the same.
Yeah. Yeah. But even if that's the case, Eloise, you still want to break that up, you know, a little bit. Unless those pleats really help you describe the shape of the form as it moves around, say, the arm or something like that. I mean, that's where you would want to use it if it actually describes the shape, you know, the form underneath. Other than that, you know, putting in a lot of the details of a fold, it gets busy and it becomes sort of a focal point, you know, that you may not really want. So edit, you know, editing folds. That's like one of those things that you just, you know, you got to spend some time doing. And I guess, you know, if I could look at the reference, I might be able to suggest which folds you put in, which ones you leave out. But yeah, anytime that it becomes kind of a pattern like that, and they get to be the same size and kind of evenly spaced, it sort of just flattens the drawing out a bit on you. Okay, so that's something to think about, Bob.
All right.
You know, and you know, if you want to practice folds and things like that, do you have like an old tablecloth or a bed sheet or something around the house that you can drape over the back of the chair, or take a push pen?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And then drape it. You know, try that. You know, try that, and then try drawing it. You know, and then again, it's a matter of being selective, and what you leave out is as important, if not more important, than what you put in with fabric, stuff like that. So that would be my suggestion. Okay.
Okay.
And I think I've recommended this book. It's Drawing the Figure by Barbara Bradley.
Drawing what did you say?
Drawing, yeah,
So,
I have it.
yeah, drawing the figures by Barbara Bradley.
Oh, drawing figures.
Barbara Bradley was my mentor. She was the head of the illustration department at the Academy of Art, and you know, and she had that whole idea of drawing drapery and fabric and stuff around the form. She really understood that really, really well, and she put together a little book that is really helpful. You know, so if you have a chance, you know, to take a look at that book, you know, online, I don't think it's very much. It's like $9 or $10. It's like a, you know, like a paperback book. You know, it's full of good ideas, you know, about trying to draw the figures with clothes, right? And trying to get that idea of trying to get the clothes to fit, you know, the body and show the action, you know, what the figure's doing. So I would recommend that. Okay. Guess who showed up? Hey, Bernice.
Hello. I
How
took
are
a nap and it lasted too long.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. So here you are. All right. Let's take a look at some of your stuff real quick. You had some questions, right? And I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit because I think that's the reference you're working from, right?
Right. Mhm.
Okay. So you got a little angel, you know, and she's pulling out. Is that a lily? Tiger lily?
I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, I'm not a.
Yes,
Looks
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, some kind
it's a
of.
little.
Okay. Yeah. And the thing with flowers and stuff like that is that they have kind of specific shapes. Okay. You know, and this artist, you know, of course, you're working from another artist's artwork. Let's talk about that. But you know, they were pretty clear about, you know, setting up those specific shapes to get the idea, you know, that they were a particular type of flower. Okay. So then let's go and take a look at what you're doing. Okay. And so here's your painting. And I guess what I would say to you, you know, right now you've concentrated a lot on the flower, right? But I would kind of recommend to you to actually go find some good reference, you know, on those types of flowers, and really look at the shape and the proportions of them, because
Well, try to. You want me to try to figure out what flower that is?
yeah.
Okay.
If you're going to paint it, it would be a good idea to know what it's.
Know what I'm painting.
Well, you are, you know, you're including it, so yeah, you want to try to get that, you know, that right. There are some flowers that you can get away with being like really generic, like roses and stuff like that. And you know, certain styles or approaches of painting that you can simplify it down to just, you know, sort of a paint stroke or a spot of paint. But lilies are probably not one of those because they do have a very structure. Okay. So then let's talk about the figure, because your question was that you needed help with the face, you know, of this little girl. And okay, so you've got the big block, and you know, you've got basically the movement, you know, down right now, and you haven't really gone any further to develop it. But the thing I like that you did do is you started doing a few little studies, right? And trying to develop, you know, the face as what that would look like, right?
Mhm.
And so you've got some nice little studies here. The thing is, like in this particular case, if you look at that in comparison to what this person did, right? Pretty much so you've, you know, followed suit with that, and that the proportions in the face are about correct for a young child. Okay. And this is the one that's probably most developed. And, you know, I would say you're okay with that, right?
Okay, but the problem is the painting and the contours, the painting of the face. That's what I'm having a problem with.
I'm sorry, what?
The painting.
Uh-huh.
You know, because actually on this sheet right here, I actually copied the face from the original and just put it on it's like for photo paper, and then I tried to paint on top of it. But I think my painting they look like mud to me.
Okay. Well, and mainly that's because of the values. Okay, so you know your values are kind of in blocks, right? It's like up above here, and you did a pretty nice job. You know, let's slow that up a little bit. You did a pretty nice job of getting, you know, a variety of values of things in around the features of the face. So again, you know, from really the brow ridge down, that works pretty well. This is a big flat shape, and you need to do something more like you did here, where it moves around, it changes value. And if you did that, then that wouldn't look so flat. Now, if you look at what this artist did, and let's blow that up as well. Remember we talked about you have to have 5 values, right? Okay. You've got to have light. You've got to have shadow, right? Which is the darkest value. Now, the darkest value doesn't mean that it's necessarily a number 10 value, like it's not necessarily going to be black, but it's going to be the darkest value within that range. So in this case, probably the darkest value that he's got on the flesh tones, just in the skin, all I'm talking, is probably like about a number 6 or a number 7 value. Okay.
Okay.
In these shadows and even in the arm. Okay, in the shoulder. Okay, see, he probably doesn't go any more than about a number 7 value. And so his lightest is really a 0 or white almost, at least in this photocopy of it. And then you see he has a range of values in between, see, from the darkest. And as you move toward the light, you know, some of these values keep getting lighter, right, till you get to this area right through here in the face, right? And why, if you squint your eye down, you'll notice that it's darker here, right at the corner of the eye and on the forehead and on the cheek, than it is back here, closer to the ear. Why do you think that is?
Because it's where the light is hitting it.
Yeah.
What's in shadow and what's not in shadow.
Pardon?
It's what's in shadow and what's not in shadow.
Right. Okay.
And it's also the contour, the facial contours also.
But okay, so let's kind of talk of it in terms of you've got what we call the front plane of the face, and the front plane is in light. And then you've got the side plane of the face, everything over here, which is in shadow. Okay? And so it's the front plane, like the cheekbones, the orbit of the mouth, the nose, you know, the forehead, that are all catching light. And it's the side plane, you know, which is from the cheekbone and the, you know, the ridge along the skull where it turns and moves to the side plane. You know, that's where you find the core shadow. Okay? And that's what you're seeing right there, is he used a core shadow. And then you see everything from that core shadow moving this way gets lighter.
Actually, I tried to start out with a dark color, and then I tried to make it lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. But I had about 10 colors really. But it all looks like lines to me. It doesn't look like skin. It's just like I put lines out on the paper.
Yeah.
See, it looks like lines rather than contours.
Yeah, and well, and that's what's it is lines right now. You're putting in blocks. Okay.
Oh,
The thing is, you've got to find about 4 more blocks of color, right? So you've got this dark, right, which would be the core shadow, but you haven't found, you know, the overall value of the shadow on this side, right? Which would probably be close to what you have right here. If you would have brought that up, see, that would set up that core shadow going down the face.
oh, okay.
And, you know, the way you lay it down, it might look kind of hard edged at first, but then you have to come back in. You just got to soften those edges, you know, and bend them a little bit so that they kind of one transitions into another.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a little bit of work to, you know, turn that form, because you've got to, you know, you can't just lay down a patch of paint and go, okay, that's it. That's my core shadow. Because core shadows don't do that. You know, they're dark, and then they have something on the shadow side, the range of values in the shadow that's lighter than that as it moves around the form. And then it gets much lighter as it moves over to the light side. But it's not a hard edge most of the time. Most of the time it's kind of soft, you know, and a little bit blurry there. And it's not just this dark value against the lightest light. There's some kind of transition there. There's what we call an intermediate range of values or tones. And then the same thing, you know, on the shadow side. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, because that's what you're, you know, that's what we're seeing going on right here. Say, he's got a core shadow, he or she, I call him a he. I don't know who did this. But there's a core shadow here, and then you see everything over here is on the light side, right? And that doesn't mean that it's all white. You know, there's other values here, but none of them are as dark as what's back over here on the shadow side, other than the side of the nose, because that's turned away from the light. And you even get a core shadow going up the nose. See? And the same thing with the orbit of the mouth, because it's a rounded form. It's not a flat plane. And so you get light on this side, shadow on this side. Okay?
Okay.
You know, just as an idea, okay? And you know, I'm not saying you have to do this or anything, but
Okay.
but it would probably be a good thing for you to practice taking some kind of round object like a ball or like an orange or a grapefruit, you know, something that's fairly smooth, right? It doesn't have a lot of texture and stuff to it. You know, fairly smooth surface. And that's kind of a uniform color. And then light it and try to paint it and try to make it feel round, right? So that you get a light side and a shadow side, and all of the values in it. Okay. Another thing you could do is an egg. Eggs are great for that. And you don't have to use color. You can just use, you know, like grays or, you know, some kind of neutral color paint. But, you know,
like that gray and white thing you were showing us yesterday about the values.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's the whole idea. See, try to figure out what the values are doing on that form, and then how soft or how hard you see those edges. And don't do it from a photograph. Try to do it from something that you're actually looking at. And the reason for that is that your eye will see more if you're actually looking at that thing than you will from a photograph. Photographs, you know, they automatically get rid of like 70 to 80% of the information that your eye sees.
Okay.
And simplify it. So really looking at something is much better. And you'll see those subtleties, and then you can try to render them. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little exercise. Here, you know, you've gone a little further, right? And you see, you're beginning to get the idea. You're getting a little more subtlety, other than you put that darker value back here when in fact it's kind of like right in here. See?
Oh,
And
okay.
these values need to be back here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you kind of got them reversed. You know, you got them, you know, fairly right in here. You know, because you got the foreshadow going down the nose and, you know, on the side of the orbit of the mouth. But you haven't made those transitional values. You know, you just put really just two values. It's light and shadow. Now you've got to make it a little more subtle and a little more soft. And it will begin to look, you know, like a face. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Then you sent this in. Do you have any more questions about that?
Huh?
Yeah, you sent this piece in.
Oh,
Yeah, did you have any more questions about it?
no. What I did was try to put some branches and some leaves in, that's all.
Yeah, and you did. Okay. You know, and it became kind of more of a graphic kind of feel, which is okay because it kind of goes in keeping with the butterflies, the birds, and everything else. So
Okay.
so that's good. Then you have a lovely, everybody's calling this a deer. It's at the technical name of it is it's a bush buck. Okay.
What?
It's a bush buck.
Buck?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, buck.
A buck?
UCK, bush buck.
B-U-C-K?
Yeah, that's actually the name of the animal. It's a bush buck.
Okay, thank you.
You know, and they're kind of akin to antelope, I guess. Antelope.
Okay.
They're in that family still. At any rate, yeah. So you got a nice drawing of him. And then you got a great elephant, you know, mother and child.
Find the legs.
Yeah.
I couldn't find all the legs, but
Yeah. Well, you're right. There were a lot of legs there. You know, one was kind of, it's like, yeah, where do they kind of connect up? But you did a pretty good job, you know, getting, you know, everything kind of in the right place. So you did well with that. And then, of course, one of my favorite animals, you know, the lemur that you did.
I made him so fat.
Yeah, but he was kind of wide. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is I think the proportion of the body to the head could be a little bit bigger. You know,
Okay.
but you know, you got a lot of the features you can look at. You know, you can look at it and you know pretty much tell what kind of animal it is. So you didn't do badly with that. And then we have these gals. Okay. And you know that's a nice painting. Again, you know, I would like to see you move away from using other people's paintings and use, if you have to use photographic reference, that's fine. But the only objection really that I have about you using other people's paintings is that they've already kind of figured out the composition and everything for you. And I know you're using these to learn from, but still, you know, I think working with your own photo images, you know, having people take a pose or something. I mean, you could look at that and go, yeah, okay, I want to do something like that. But then find 2 or 3 people to model for you, or find, you know, some ladies on the beach, you know, online if you can find something similar to that. But you know, I want you to try to begin to solve some of these issues. And do it your way.
Let me tell you about that painting. I had struggled all weekend with trying to get faces right. And I just said, I want something easy. So I just threw some paint down for the ocean. I didn't even try. I just put it down where I thought it should be and just put a little on top of it.
Yeah.
You know, I just wanted something, I just wanted something easy, you know, that I thought would be pretty easy to you know.
So let me ask you this. What would happen if you eliminated the faces. If you just put it down as a series of slight changes of color,
Okay.
and you didn't worry about painting.
I thought about that.
But you know, I mean, don't worry about painting eyes and mouths, noses, and stuff like that, right? Just, you know, try to get the colors, you know, to color and value
Okay.
to sort of tell the story. Okay. Because
Okay.
if you look at the original painting, right? Squint your eye down.
Mhm.
You notice how dark all of those faces begin to get? If you
Yes.
put your eye down, because they're all in shadow, right?
Mhm.
Because where's sunlight?
It looks like it's almost it's I don't know, because there's some on the left side here, but then I guess it's coming from the left side.
It is. It's
Yeah,
coming
left
from the
side.
left side and behind them.
Right. Mhm.
Why their shoulders and the back of their legs is all lit up,
Mhm.
right? And why everything on the front is in shadow,
Okay.
right? And this lady is turned in a different direction. She's turned sideways, so she's catching some light on the front of her leg and on her chest. But look at the cast shadows on her head. See?
Mhm.
You know, this is a big cast shadow right here. The ball itself is all
Oh, okay.
shadow, right? Really just like the top of her back and her elbow is catching just a little bit of light, right?
And on the legs and things, I just say I'm using two fresh colors for each person. That's it. I'm not even trying to do gradations. I just put, that's it. I just wanted something easy, you know.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, and you can simplify it, okay? But if you're going to do that, and you kind of did it on her, okay? You kind of got a lighter value and a darker value. The thing is, if you really want to say that it's bright sunlight, then that light's going to have to get a lot lighter.
Oh, okay.
See, and then that will make that look darker. It's the range of value that you're working with, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, that will begin to make it look kind of like sunlight. And then the same thing is true with their their swim caps. You know, even though she's got a yellow swim cap, look how dark that is. Except for like right back here on the back edge, right? And see, that tells you that, okay, that's in shadow. Same thing with this white swim cap. If you squint your eye down, it's not really all that light.
Let me ask you something. How can the light be coming in from the left and her head be in shadow?
Well, because her face is turned away from it.
I know her face is, but the back of the cap should have some light, shouldn't it?
It does. You see, it's lighter here, but it's darker on this side.
Oh, okay.
The front. Okay. You can almost see right here, the shadow where the shadow begins. You can follow that right up into the cap and right up to the top of her head. Everything over here is in shadow. From this point over is in some kind of light. Right? Same thing with her cap. See, there's a brighter, lighter blue, you know, like right here, but her head is down. So really from, you know, there's a shadow line right here. And all of her face and the whole side and part of the top of her head is in shadow as well. Okay.
What do you think about my background? Since I just kind of threw it down.
Yeah. Well, you know, you've got a good start. You know, you can tell that it's water or the ocean. And again, you just need more contrast. You know, I mean, if you look at this, the sky is much lighter, the water is much darker. Now it's not as dark as her swimsuit, but you see there's a change in value, right? And you see a horizon. Okay, and in your painting so far, you've got the value darker, you've got this lighter, you just haven't made it light enough.
Okay.
See, so this has got to get much lighter, and that might actually be okay, just the way it is. If you lighten this up, and then you would get the contrast and you'd see the horizon a little more clearly. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. And let's go to Eloise. Okay, who was here? You still around, Eloise?
Eloise.
Eloise.
I'm here, I'm
Sorry.
here. I don't know what happened to the emails, and now my computer is blinking off and on, so I can only see this for a second.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to the bottom part.
Yeah, well, it's like it didn't get uploaded. You know, it's like the file was too big and it took a long time to upload, and it just it didn't upload the whole image.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got part of it,
Yeah.
the upper part, which is good. Okay, so yeah, you got your shark there, and he's got a big smile. And you know, we were talking. I don't think you were here, but we were looking at some of Bob's drawings, and we were talking about this exact thing about darkening the background to make the water, you know, stand out.
Say that again, dark what?
Darkening the background, the
All
sky,
right.
right? So that the water is lighter and it moves forward, right? And then of course the shark is in front of that. So just those changes in value, you know, begin to give you some layers in there in which you get some depth, right? The shark feels closer, the water's behind him, and the sky is behind that. And so it
I
makes,
did darken the water.
pardon?
The water is, the sky, I guess, is darker.
It is, that's what I'm saying. Bob and I were talking about that, because in Bob's drawing, let me go to that just real quick so we can look at it. Bob, where are you? He's up
I'm
above.
gonna have to switch.
Did you send these pictures out as a reference? Because I never got them.
Yeah, I never got it either.
Did I? I thought
They
I,
were the Friday assignment.
yeah, I thought I did.
Well, I don't wish I was
Maybe.
here,
I didn't
but
see
I
it.
also didn't get the pictures.
Okay, well, I-
No, you said you would send them to anybody who requested it.
right,
I requested it, but I didn't get them, so I don't know.
my bad, I apologize. I will send some if you want, at this point.
Go ahead and send to
Yeah,
me.
but this is Bob's drawing, see, and you know, he's got the darker value on the shark, which is fine, but he was talking about struggling with trying to make that water look like water, and you know, the easy solution would be just put some value back there, and then that have this lighter, right? And that's what you did. So you came up with a good solution for that,
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
and that worked, you know.
Oh, okay.
But that's exactly what we were talking about right there.
But it doesn't look like water.
Well, you know, you kind of outlined it, gave it kind of a hard edge. It looks more like water over here than it does, say, over here.
Okay.
Okay. You know, and you know, this looks like you were rushing a little bit. You know, you weren't really taking your time with it.
I was doing it on the timer you had. so
Right.
maybe it was.
Yeah, you were drawing faster. Yeah. And here's your lemur. Okay. And he looks, you know, lemur-like. You can tell, you know, who he is. And again, you know, for a 20-minute sketch, you know, the idea is, you know, these are not 2 or 3 hour drawings. You know, these are 20-minute sketches, and you've got to make a choice about what's important. You know, what's important to convey the idea or capture the idea of, in this case, you know, the animal you're drawing or the figure or the landscape, whatever it is. Like, how do you make choices about what you put in, what you leave out, you know? And you want to put in enough to get the idea across, but not take on so much that you develop the drawing, you know, to the point where it looks unfinished, right? And so, you know, you like I said, you know, you did a pretty good job at getting this to look like that type of animal. So, and that's all I got from you. Did you send me anything else?
No, that's all. I'm having such a struggle trying to get those identification, the file names on pictures. So no, that's all.
Okay. All right. All right. Now, Rebecca sent this. She went to go see, I guess, a exhibition of this artist, Grace Kisa. And evidently she's a painter and a sculptor. And where did you see this? Sewell Mill Library.
Sewell Mill Cultural Center.
Right.
It's on Sewell Mill Road.
Yeah.
I think the address is right there on the poster.
Yeah. But yeah, they have a nice little, well, it's a library, but they have a little gallery space. And then they've got some rooms that you can like rent for events and classes and stuff like that. And
I attended our granddaughter's ballet recital, and it was in the amphitheater that's in the back of the outside back of the library. It's very nice, very big, very hot in the middle of the day.
Yes. Yeah.
This was a fascinating artist.
Yeah. Anyway, this is one of her sculptures, and so they're fairly good size. And you know, again, you know, they're very imaginative. You know, was there a second hand to this, or was it just the one hand out front?
No, there was just one hand out front, and that was one of many. They were all in the motif of a woman, though, and the hand was in different positions and different sculptures.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really very interesting, very unique. I'd never seen anything like it.
Yeah. Well, you know, she's definitely redesigned and kind of distorted the facial features and the scale and proportion of everything. But yeah, you know, they're interesting sculptures. You know, I'd like to go see more of them. Was it just the one sculpture, or there were multiple sculptures there?
I'm sorry.
Rebecca?
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You know, I got a phone call. I'm so sorry. Please excuse me. I stopped it.
Okay. My question is, was there more than just the one sculpture?
Oh yes, there were several. Maybe 8 or 9, maybe even 10, and each one was unique. Each one was very different. But the motif was they were all women, and the women were doing something. In one of the other sculptures, the woman's hands were out in front of her, and on one hand the word was long, and on the other hand was the word story. So long story, and then a very interesting backdrop.
Well, you know, I'm looking at the dates of the show, and it ends today, May 29th. Yeah. So it didn't have a very long run. It was only there for a couple of weeks. It's kind of unfortunate. And then she gave a talk on the 24th. Yeah, I'll have to look her up and see what I can find online. But yeah, she's got some real interesting work. I like what she's doing. Let's see. Let's look at John. John was painting and drawing all at the same time. And so they're
both hands. With both hands.
With both hands? Both hands at a time? Okay, so yeah, so these are mainly, okay, there we go. They're mainly watercolor, right?
Yes, correct. With water soluble graphite as well.
Okay. All right. So did you put down the paint first and then draw into them, or did you do a sketch?
No, the other way around. I did the graphite, and then I wet some of that, and I didn't like it, then I put the paint after.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
like the shark I did in the graphite, and then I wet it down for the shading of the face, and, the fins and the body, and then I added color to that.
All right.
And the same thing with the lemur. The basic lemur is basically all graphite,
Right.
with the paint just in the eyes in the background.
Okay. All right. And for 20 minutes each, you know, you got kind of a nice effect. You can tell what all the animals are. And, you know, you've got the added element of color. So, you know, and you were able to include, you know, like some of the background, not just the animal. So you put, in 3 cases, you put them in an environment, which is helpful, you know. Let you
Yeah,
know.
that was, I didn't go back, and that was just 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I didn't go back and work on them. Those are just within the 20 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine, because, you know, the idea was to get you to get down as much as you could in 20 minutes.
Right.
Which means that you had to be selective and edit. Something we're trying to push as an idea of, you don't have to have every little detail, you know.
Yeah, actually, in the antelope, or what you call that, even though the horns were the most biggest, I would say, identifying feature, that wasn't what I concentrated on.
Yeah, you did more the markings of the face. And
right.
I don't know, you know, the horns were interesting, but, you know, the pattern in the face was really pretty fascinating. You know, how complex that was. You know,
yes.
The light and dark pattern on it. Really, really unique. So.
And as you said, you know, you think about the human face as you do look at the animals, and both on that and the lion, I did see like similarities that we've talked about on doing the human face and planes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So let's see. Trying to find June. Is June here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay! She made it. Okay. All right. So this is June's drawing of the bush buck and then the lion. And you were using like colored pencils, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, are these like water soluble colored pencils, or are they just regular colored pencils?
I think a regular.
Yeah, because I was going to say, you know, with your sketches like that, if they were the water soluble ones, you could take a
No, I didn't know I have the water soluble, so I just bought the regular.
Yeah, and that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, they're out there though, so if you're ever so inclined. And then, you know, you've got the mother and baby elephant. And you know, scale and proportion look pretty good. You know, they feel like they're moving. You know, they're not standing still. So that's good. You got that. You got really kind of fun lemur, you know, just because of the colors that you chose, you know, those kind of blues and purples. But it works really, really well. So you did a nice job with it.
Thank you.
Yeah, rather than just all gray. And then, you know, the shark. And, you know, again, you're using color. So it helps in some way. But, you know, you can definitely, again, you know, you did the same thing with that Eloise had done. And you started putting in a little bit of the background to make the water kind of pop out. And then the shark is in front of that. So again, you know, you're getting some of that layering, you know, one thing's closer to you than another. And, you know, you did it fairly quickly and it works.
After class, I just sent to you.
Huh? Right.
After class, I just sent to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, you know, I mean, it's not like you have to struggle over these a long time. You know, you're just trying to get down the basics, you know, and get it to look kind of like, okay, you know, it's a shark or it's a lemur or, you know, whatever the identifying characteristics of that animal are, just to kind of get the, you know, the idea across. Now, let's see.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to go to Rebecca. Now, Rebecca did a series, you know, same thing you guys did.
That's nice.
Yeah, but Rebecca, you know, has a way of simplifying and stylizing, you know, her drawings. And you know this is a lion. And does it, you know, is it a portrait of that particular lion? No. You know, and it doesn't have to be. You know, it's got enough of the characteristics of that lion that, you know it's a lion. You know?
He's got personality.
He does, yeah. And she, you know, and she's really, really good at kind of imparting personality in all of her drawings. You know, if you look at the shark, see?
Not ready to go and I gotta pick her up.
You know, I mean, even the shark, you know, she simplified it, right? Rather than having, you know, like all the, where's my cursor? You know, like all of this broken up and, you know, different shapes. You know, she just streamlined it and like, okay, so this is darker, this is lighter. And left it at that. And it works. So, let's see, lemur. Yeah, again. It's fairly accurate, you know. I mean, it looks like lemur, but in a way, you know, she's again simplified it a bit. But you know what it is, you know, and it again, it's got a feel to it. You know, same thing with the elephants.
Wow, I've seen legs and everything.
Yeah, and it feels like the elephants are moving. Okay. And then last but not least is her bush buck. And again, you know, you can look at that animal and identify it. It's not a tight, realistic rendering of that type of animal, but it gives you enough, you know, to get the idea of what it was that she was trying to do. And she did really well with it. And then last but not least, well, no, actually, we got two more people. Yeah. We have Richard. And Richard.
Yo.
Okay, tell us about what you're doing here.
Up on the right car. You showed that some lady did that.
Uh-huh. Right.
I thought I'd try to do it myself.
Okay.
It turned out to be more difficult than I thought.
Right.
Getting the angles right on these little thing right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, she had an advantage on you in the sense that, one, she was working three-dimensionally with these. She had an actual form to put the color on and textures and things. And you're trying to reproduce it, and you're trying to do it on a flat surface, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's something to think about. Here's your painted images. But
you see these little angles?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They were hard to come by. It was harder than I thought.
Well, you know, you kind of ran into this when we were at Benson, in that you were trying to do like a hard edge painting. And remember, you were using the tape, and you were putting the tape down and painting up to the edge, and then peeling the tape off to get a nice sharp line. Well, you know, you would have to do, well, you don't have to do it, but if that's the effect that you want, then, you know, masking some of these areas off, as you were pointing, would be probably the solution you're looking for.
I got nothing to do over here, so go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, if you use like some kind of tape, like painter's tape or something, and laid it down, you know, to get a cleaner edge to your shapes, you know, that then you would get closer to, I think, what you were looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. But I like these, you know, I would like to see them bigger, they remind me a lot of ladies' work, you know, and some of the things that she was doing as well. But you definitely have, you know, the difference, you know, in looking at these and looking at what Lady does. Lady tends to, she works kind of like in generally softer value ranges and color ranges than you do. You know, you have, you're kind of attracted to high contrast color combinations. And, you know, and again, you know, it's just, again, you know, the way you use color versus the way, you know, she used color, or the lady that you looked at, and most of her stuff wasn't real high contrast. You know, it might be slightly darker or slightly lighter. But yeah, it wasn't like a real stark contrast in it. And see, you put a lot more contrast in your pieces, which is fine. Okay? It's just, you know, it makes your work look like yours, and then theirs look like theirs. Even if you're doing something very similar, you can still tell them apart, and that's a good thing. So
I don't like this dark thing, the one in the middle. It's extra dark. I think that kind of ruins it.
Well, and is this oil paint or is this acrylic?
This is oil.
Okay.
And I got one more column left I can use over here. So.
Yep. Yeah, that you can do. You know, I've got an idea for you. Okay. When you finish painting this column over here, then take, yeah, when you get them all done, then, you know, take like an X-Acto knife or something and cut the shape out, use a straight edge, and make, you know, some nice clean cuts, right? And then take them and then mount them on another piece of paper, and or you could take something that was like three-dimensional, like a long, tall box, you know, and then adhere them to the side of the box and actually make them a three-dimensional sculpture.
Wow.
But she's using a piece of wood with the four corners on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And if I were going to do something like that, you know, as just as long as it was going to be used as an indoor, you know, piece of artwork, I would probably take foam core and I would cut it into strips and then make a box, you know, a long, tall box, and then use gel medium to mount these on. And that would make a fairly permanent, you know, final piece of artwork. Because the foam core, you know, unless you got it like absolutely soaking wet, nothing's really going to bother it. So it's a pretty good material to work with.
What do you call it?
Foam core. You know, it's got the white paper on the inside and it's foam on the inside, and it's real easy to cut and shape, you know, and work with. You know, people use it for like presentations. You know, they mount pictures and stuff on it if they're having a business meeting. So, all right. So yeah, we got two more people. So we got Susan Adair.
I'm here.
Yep. And there's her bush buck. And you got a pretty good long way, you know, with that. You know, you got, yeah. And again, you know, you kind of draw in a somewhat stylized way and simplified, and that's good. You know? But you got the idea of, you know, how those horns or, you know, kind of come out of the head and spiral upward. You've got a nice sense of the pattern on the face and the body, and how the neck, you know, it comes down and in front. You know, you've broken that line of the hip and the shoulder and brought that neck down inside. So, yeah, you made some good observations in there.
Okay.
You know, and nice elephants. You know, It kind of, you know, the line work and the shading and stuff kind of remind me of some of the drawings of Egon Schiele.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, it has kind of that feel to it. You know, he didn't, as far as I know, he didn't draw elephants, but but if he did, they might look a lot like that. So, and I like him. You know, he's a good artist. If you haven't looked at his work. And again, you know, you're lemur, right?
Yeah.
Definitely got, you know, some personality. You've got, you know, you can identify the animal. So, yeah, these are all pretty nice. You got a lot of personality in that lion. He looks like he's getting ready to say something to you. I don't know what he's getting ready to say, but he looks like he's got something on his mind.
yeah, I guess he probably did.
Yeah. You know, maybe he's going to ask you out to lunch.
You mean for lunch, not too much.
For lunch.
Yeah, speaking about somebody inviting you to lunch, there we go. You know, so, you know, you've got, you know, you've kind of softened up the shape of the shark a little bit. You know, a lot of people use kind of a harder outline, you know, on the shark itself, and you've kind of softened it up a little bit. So, but again, you know, you look at it, you know, it's a shark. You know, you get some indication of the movement of the water back there, and you've actually put in the water line, you know, the surface of the water that he's coming out of. And a lot of people left all of that off. You know, you put it in. That's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Guess who's next?
Veronica.
Veronica. Veronica, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
I see her. There she is. You disappeared out there for a while from me. I didn't know you were still here or not. So yeah, you got, you know, mother and child, and they're moving right along. You know, looks like mom's ready to do the sprint.
I don't know how far they want to take it, but at least you need some evidence of the GPS.
Somebody's talking to the back.
That's how you work.
That might be me, but not me talking.
No. Okay. Yeah. Somebody was talking in the background. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we got lemurs. Okay. And you did him twice.
Yeah, I was like, okay, let me try over there.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I like the second one. I think you got the second one, you know, that feels more, it's got more personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This guy. So, yeah, I think you did a good job with that one. And then we got your lion. See? And notice how people, you know, when they draw animals like lions and stuff like that, they impart something about, you know, a personality to them.
Yes.
Yeah. That, you know, you didn't really see that in the photograph, but you know, it's like in everybody's drawing the lion, they do kind of have a feel, almost like, you know, they're going to talk to you, or they've got a certain attitude. And then we have your shark here coming out of the water, and you got all the rows of teeth in there.
Yeah, that's all I could see was those teeth. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, gray whites are amazing animals. You know, I think they have like, I think they say that they have like 100 rows of teeth, and that, you know, yeah, they do. And it's like, you know, they'll lose like a row of teeth when they bite into something, and then what happens is, you know, some of those teeth will break out of their mouth, and then another row just kind of moves up and takes their place. You know, they're nothing but, you know, a tooth growing machine.
I need
They don't have to go to the dentist.
Dentist would be out of work.
Right.
Yeah, I need teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, I don't think they hang on to teeth long enough to get cavities in them.
Yeah, and all I kept thinking was, I hope I never see one in person with those teeth.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing one. In fact, I have. I've seen them in person. Usually there's a piece of glass, between me and them. I've never
yeah.
been, I've never been in the water
Aquarium.
that I knew of. Okay. And if I did know that they were in the water with me, then I probably wouldn't have been that happy. So anyway, but yeah, that's a nice shark. Okay. And I'm gonna, I guess, last but least, I'll show you. So this is what I did. Okay. There's my shark.
Oh, okay.
And I was
Wow.
working on gray paper, and so I was using a white Prismacolor pencil, and I guess it's a dark gray. It wasn't really black. So there's my shark. There's the elephant family, moving right along.
It has legs.
Mhm.
I'm just amazed at these legs people get.
Yep, lots of legs going everywhere. There's our lion. And then the
Oh, Charles, you didn't show my lion.
huh?
I don't think you showed my lion.
Your lion was with something else. I thought here, let's go see. Bernice. Well, Bernice, I don't have a lion from you. I have a lemur. I've got an elephant. I've got a bush buck.
Okay.
Uh,
I'll chuck him in.
okay. Yeah, I didn't get a lion from you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Lemur.
Yeah.
So, yeah, out of all the animals that we drew that day, I thought he was one of the most interesting.
Yeah.
There's something about them. They're really fascinating animals. And they're our cousins, so we're related to them. And there's the bush buck.
I like that drawing the best though.
The lemur or the bush buck?
The bush. What is it?
A bush buck.
Bush buck.
The bush buck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see above the eyes and everything.
Yeah, I think my favorite is the lemur. That's the one I had the most fun with. So, anyway, so we'll be back at it this Friday. Not drawing animals this time.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
I sent you a copy of my latest version of my Grape Lady. Did you happen to get that one?
Of your what lady?
The Grape Lady, the lady in the grape arbor.
Oh,
grapes.
I saw something. I thought that was. I thought we had already talked about that one.
Well, I made some changes in her.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll try to pull it up on Thursday. Okay.
Okay.
We'll take a look.
Well,
at
I may send you another one because I've made more changes since then. So I'll probably send you another version.
Okay. All right. Yes. Send me the latest and greatest, please. So, all right. Well, that's all I got. Let's see. How do you unmute? Oh, okay. Somehow this.
I have to ask Charles.
Yeah.
On your lemur, did you run out of paper? On your lemur, did you run out of paper, or did you plan to have it? Did you plan the tail cut off?
Well, I ran out of paper. Yeah. So yeah, my paper was oriented more vertical than horizontal, and if you wanted to include the whole tail, then you would have needed more of a horizontal format. But no, I just it's like I wanted to concentrate on the head, the face, the personality. So it's like, yeah, the tail's there. That's, you get enough of the idea, I thought. So Anyhow.
I kind of like the curve of the tail. That's what I kind of looked at.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I could have probably been creative and kept it within the composition, I guess. You know, since I'm drawing them, I can do anything I want to with it, right?
That's true.
Right.
Anyhow, anybody got anything else? 3. Okay. Well, actually,
So we're going to have class on Friday, but not on Monday, correct, for the holiday?
Yes. Yeah, we will have a Friday class. Yeah, we will not have a Monday class because of the 4th of July. Okay? All right.
Okay.
And for those of you who came in late, I'm going to be sending out a new schedule for classes. You should get that tomorrow morning. And then, so you'll be able to get to the class tomorrow and then on Thursday and Friday. You should get a new schedule probably on either Friday or Tuesday from Fulton County, you know, on that, you know, Excel spreadsheet that they email out. So look for that. But you'll have them from me, okay, for my classes. So, you know, if you're trying to link to other classes, you know, they should be sending something out relatively soon. Okay. Any questions?
Well, the Thursday and Friday class, will that be on a new schedule or the old one?
This Thursday and Friday, since the classes run out tomorrow, right? Thursday will be the first class of the new schedule.
Okay.
And so it will be Thursday afternoon and then Friday morning.
Okay.
For the rest of this week. And then, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be in the morning. And then Tuesday and Thursdays will be in the afternoon. Does that work for you?
Oh, sounds good.
Oh,
No?
not for me.
Not, oh, okay, Gene.
I got a schedule from Roderick yesterday, but it's the old one. It's not the new one.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but the links for my classes only go up through tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I've got to schedule new classes. And like I said, I'm going to be scheduling classes for the next 90 days. Okay?
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I wondered about that. So
Yeah.
we'll get a 3-month schedule. Is that correct?
Pardon?
Starting in July, it'll be July, August, September?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, Sabrina had me schedule just a month. I don't know why she had me do that, but, you know, we were just kind of testing this out to see how it worked. And like I said, I got an email back from her, and the general feeling was that they wanted me online every day. You know, so, you know, going back to the 2 classes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you know, for whatever reason doesn't work for the county. So it's like, okay. You know, if that's the way it's got to be, that's the way it's got to be. So, you know.
Yeah, she's not taking into account that most of the other classes are 30 or 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're putting in more time than those people.
Yeah, just, you know, yeah, online I am.
Yeah, online, right.
You know, but, you know, and we've talked about this before, you know, you get to see my smiling face for about 2 hours a day, right? But, you know, what I'm doing when I'm not online is, you know.
There's a lot.
I'm looking for stuff, you know, to keep you guys interested.
It's prep time that they're not looking at.
Right. Yeah. And that's why, you know, when we were doing the 3 days with 2 classes, you know, the way we did it, it was really only 3 classes that I was preparing for as far as having to gather information and material. And then the other classes, the other 3 classes in the afternoon, it was basically an opportunity for you guys to share stuff.
Right.
You know, so you would send stuff in and we could look at it and talk about it, just like we did today. And so, you know, for me to get stuff from email and stuff like that doesn't take nearly as much time as it does, you know, trying to find videos or gathering the stuff, talk about, you know, different. But it is, it is what it is. So, okay. So, you know, 3 days a week, you know, we'll, you know, really nothing's going to change other than, you know, some of the classes are going to move to the morning, and then others are going to stay in the afternoon where they are. So, okay.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, it's been fun.
Bye-bye. See you all.
I guess
See you
I'll
later.
see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.